This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Let's wait for 2 more minutes, then we'll start our session.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, fine guys. So today we will be moving to the very first step, which is NFR. I'll share my screen. Yeah, let me know once my screen is visible. Is my screen visible now?
Yes.
Yeah, fine. And can anyone let me know what all we discussed yesterday? Anyone from the team? You can unmute yourself and you can speak. Okay. What do you mean by performance testing? Anyone? If you are unable to phrase in technical word, that is also fine. Just let me know what is performance testing exactly, like what we are checking over there.
Performance
Hello.
testing is
Yeah, go ahead.
when
No worries.
basically when checking what the the app or like the login or the username is able to do. If it's able to let you log in or if it's not letting you log in.
Yes. So just to add on that, so here this is nothing but testing the application behavior when we are hitting with peak load. So anyhow, we will be doing the login functionality and all the things. But here the main motto is to check the peak load. Okay, how our server is responding when we are hitting with peak load. Okay, and we also discussed in yesterday's session like what is performance and why we need. So in order to see the defect free and in order to be like best in the response time and loading time and all the metrics, we need performance testing to be done. And we are going to do the performance testing whenever the development phase and the manual phase gets completed. And here we are having different types of n number of tools: LoadRunner, Jmeter, NeoLoad, and based on the requirement, we will be taking up that. Fine. So as I said earlier in yesterday's session, the very first phase is not this one. Sorry. Yep, this is the one. So life cycle. So it starts with gathering non-functional requirements, followed by test plan, scripting, execution, and then analysis. Okay, so now we are going to deal with the very first step, which is non-functional requirements. Okay, I'm just mentioning this as NFR, non-functional requirements. And before that, I just need to give you a small thing. So performance testing, perf testing mainly focus on three aspects. Okay, later you guys can make a note of this. Okay, so it's mainly focused on performance of the application, and also it is going to check the security aspects as well, and the usability, and scalability as well. Okay, so it is going to check the security, usability, and scalability. So here the performance can be termed as how speed our application is responding. Okay, how, like, into how much extent our application is going to be secure. Okay, we can also write like into many, if you want to go with n number of aspects, you can write like speed, security, usability, scalability in the sense, like, suppose let us take, now we are using any one application which is newly developed, so IRCTC, which is, you can consider this as a very new application which is not into production. Okay, whenever we are releasing our application, so the number of users will be bit less. So whenever that is going to get bit more hype in the production, then the numbers and the users will use to start download. Even if you consider the Swiggy, Zomato also, whenever that moved into the production for the very first month, the number of users will be less based on its positive feedback and considering all the aspects. Okay, so as it is widely spreading, the number of users is going to increase. That is nothing but scaling up. So here from the report of the performance testing, we are also going to consider the scalability as well. Fine. And the third thing is stability. So as I said, we also going to check the stability. Okay, how stable is our application? Okay, if the application is keep on giving us some sort of error codes whenever you are trying to place your order from Zomato, whenever it is saying like internal server error occurred, so sorry, we were unable to allow you to this application, whenever you are seeing those type of issues, then no one is going to show interest on that application. Okay, so whenever we are done with our application, that should be of stable. Cool. So if you consider the three aspects from the performance testing, you can say like it is going to like consider about the speed, how speed our application is responding, how up to which extent our application is going to be scalable, and like how far it is maintaining its stability. Cool. So now we are going to talk about the very first step in our performance testing lifecycle, which is non-functional requirement. Okay, so first we need to, whenever, like as we discussed earlier, right, in yesterday's session, so whenever we got project saying into our performance testing, our manager will ask us to start. So as we all know, the first step is NFR. So in each and every organization there will be standard documents for that. So here we are going to list out few of the contents what all included in non-functional requirements. Cool. So first we need to ask the client about application architecture. Okay. So here we will be having different types of architectures, 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tier, and all the stuff. So in the application architecture, we will be having servers called web server, app server, and DB server. Okay. So let's speak about what is web, what is app, and what is DB server here. Okay, so what I'll do is like I'll just quickly move to, so here I'm just typing www.sbi.com. Okay, if anyone from our team wants to search for SBI, I hope everyone used to give the same request. Okay, so whenever I click on sbi.com, it is going to show the SBI related page. Okay, the things whatever we are using in the very first line, that comes with static request. Static request in the sense there will be no change. So if you want to see any application, then this will be the common URL what we are going to check. I think it is loading. Fine, we'll check with IRCTC as well. Okay. So whenever I need to log into this application, so this is irctc.co.in is the URL what I'm going to put and search. So till this extent, whatever we are checking, that comes and that request is communicating to the web server. Okay, but if you want to do any login functionality, or if you want to check any ticket over here, or if you want to change any, if you want to play around with this application, all these comes under whatever I am pointing over here, all these comes under app server. Okay, the static request was executed by the web server, and whatever the things we are playing around the application is nothing but that information is going to provide details about the app server. And whenever you are doing any functionalities over here, like ABC is my username and password is 1234 and followed by here, when I click on sign in, so we are into which page? App server. Like this is dealing with app server. But when I am going to click this sign in button, then this app server is going to communicate with the DB server. Okay, clear? So here I'm just going to draw a picture. Okay, so
Screen gets stuck.
sorry.
I think your screen gets stuck. We are not able to see that properly.
Oh, okay, just give me a second. I'll try to
Maybe some
reshare.
network issue or something else.
Okay, just let me try to reshare. Is my screen visible now?
No.
Not yet.
No.
Okay, just let me reshare it again. Entire screen. How about now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, fine. First is web server, and the second is app server, and the third is DB server. Okay, whatever the information, as I said earlier, when we click on www.irc.co.com, so that the static request, whatever you are typing from your machine, that is going to reach the web server. Okay, web server is going to execute only the static request, which is unchanged. Okay, whenever you are trying to play with your application, definitely you need to reach app server. And whenever you are trying to give any details regarding to that application, that needs DB server for verification. Okay, and here what the DB is going to do, like whenever you are trying to give your credentials to check, it is going to give yes, that user is exist or that user is not exist. So there is a mutual communication between the app server and DB server. And also whatever the request we are asking for the web server, that may not need to reach DB server. It is not necessary, because if you want to just go and check, see what I'm exactly referring here is, so I just provided one request to the server which relates to web, and here I'm just checking whether that Secunderabad is there or not, and TPT, suppose Tirupati or something like that. I'm just checking whether these two are coming from the drop down, and I'm just checking whether the first class is available or not, or the sleeper class is available or not. So whenever I'm checking with these things, it is not gonna back to the DB server and ask whether the Secunderabad is available or not, whether Tirupati is available or not, whether the first class is available in the drop down or not. That is already fixed and developed in the app server itself. There is no need to communicate from app to DB all the time. Okay, it is going to check whenever there is a need. So whenever you need to click any search button over here, then it is going to fetch the details. So what are all the number of and the list of trains that is applicable from Tirupati to, sorry, from Secunderabad to Tirupati. Clear? Any questions? Can I continue?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That is, so we need to check like what are all the servers we have, like how many web servers we have, how many app servers we have, how many database servers we have here. So we need to check each and everything. Okay. And also, if we consider one tier in the sense, if it is one tier, so all the web server, app server, and DB server are present in the single layer. So everything will comes into one tier. I'll show you that as well. So if I'm considering everything under one box, so this can be considered as one tier architecture. Okay. And if I need to tell, like talk about the two tier in the sense, then there will be a combination. It might be web and app in one server and app and DB in the other server. So either these two be in one phase or these two. If it is sort of three tier, then this will be separate, this is going to be separate, and this is going to be in separate phase. Okay, so it completely depends on the number of layers. If all are present in the single layer, then it is one tier. Like if all three are in different mode, then it is three tier. If any two servers into one layer, then it can be considered as two tier. Okay. And the second, what all we need to check? We also need to check about the technical design specification. Technical design specification. We all like, it's a simple thing. So we need to ask the client whether it is from the Java base, or it is from the .NET, or it is from the JavaScript. So we need to check exactly from which technology the application is developed. Okay. And also we need to check in scope. Okay, in scope components. So the word itself says what are all in scope. Okay, so here we are seeing the many parameters like trains, loyalty, IRCTC valid, buses, flights, hotels, holidays, meals, promotions, and many things else. So here the main motto is, my client called me and asked like, Amulya, we are having like around 15 days of time. So in that 15 days, we are having the application is entire ready, but we just need your suggestion on what all like functionality we can go ahead. It's of double mode question. Either he is going to ask a suggestion if he is not aware of all these things, or if he is aware of these things already, then he is going to decide. He is going to already like share the few documents with us. Amulya, we need the functionalities, like in order to check these functionalities, like we are going to check the trains functionality and buses for now, and we are going to consider flights and hotels and holidays, all these things in the next release, as we are having limited time. So then what are all that is related to the current release that can be considered as in scope components? Okay, what all business scenarios considered for current release. Fine. And also we need to check out scope. So as he is saying, like trains and buses is in scope, and we can consider the remaining as we can deal with those functionality for the next release. Then we can simply consider it as out scope. Okay, which is not in scope for the upcoming releases. Okay, and also we need to check key business scenarios. Key business scenarios. So they're also going to give on what all exactly on what all functionalities, as we discussed in the in scope itself. They are going to give some more details about the key business scenarios. So we need there I mean from the manual testing team we are going to check, get the user stories for login, register, and how to book a train, and how to cancel the train, and how to check the PNR status, and how to track the train. They're going to provide the user stories. So we need to check like what are all the key business scenarios. So from the manual testing phase, what they'll do, they'll just click on login and give the username, password, and followed by captcha, and click on sign in, which is a positive path, that is called happy path. Okay, and also in the same time they are going to give like ABC. And actually what is our password, we used to discuss 1234. If I give 123456, which is a wrong password, for this also they are going to create one user story. But being in performance testers, in performance testing, we are supposed to do the performance testing only for the positive test cases. What is the main motto of performance testing? Here we are checking the application behavior with peak load. If we are giving the negative test case, anyhow that is not going to work. Why we need to check the one which is not working? So this is not at all considerable in performance testing. So we need to check only the positive cases. Okay, positive. And in manual testing they can be considered as happy paths. Okay, and moving to the next one. So we also need to check documents accepted, which can be termed as entry criteria. Okay, so if you want to study the intermediate, what will be your criteria? So you need to finish your 10th standard, which is SSC. Okay, in the same way, whenever we need to start a work on performance testing, there also we will be having one criteria. So we already discussed here itself. So when we need performance testing, so this is nothing but the entry criteria. So it should be completed with manual phase, it should be completed with the development phase, and the app should be stable. So this is the entry criteria. So what are all the things we are discussing here? We need to post these questions to the client whenever we are about to start our work in performance testing. So we need to check whether the application is stable or not, and we need to check whether the development and manual phase is completed or not. So we'll just ask them if there is any document which provided the sign off for development and manual phase. If yes, please share that with us. This is what we are going to ask. Okay, and also in the same line we also ask about what is exit criteria you guys are looking. Okay, when you can say like our test is completely done. Anyone, like what might be the test irrespective of these things, whenever you are doing something one work, and when you are going to say that the test is done? Anyone?
All the high priority bugs have been resolved.
Good. Any more? So
Test results and
Yes,
reports are
very.
ready.
Yes, yes, very good. So whenever the test report is ready, so here it comes into two ways. Test report will be ready even if the test is passed or failed. Okay, but we need the test report which meets SLA, which is nothing but service level agreement. Okay, service level agreement. So here itself they are going to tell like here we are expecting 2 seconds for login functionality and 1 second for logout, and for booking or payment we are expecting like around 4 seconds, as each and every payment when we click on payment that is going to redirect to either our phone pay or gpay, or even for the net banking credit card. Like whenever we are moving to any payment pages, that should reach to the payment servers as well, which is going to take bit high time compared to login and logout. So all these needs to be considered, and it should, when it should meet SLA, then we can consider it as it is good to sign off, which comes under exit criteria. So we need to get all these details. Okay. And also we need to ask our client what tools they are expecting. Are they looking for LoadRunner? Are they looking for Jmeter? Or are they looking for KSX? Whatever might be. Okay. So we also need to check, like if they are able to provide the license to the application, then we can go ahead with LoadRunner. If they are going to say like, no, we are like we just want to try whether this application is working in the production or not. We don't want to keep that much of budget in the very early stage. So we might need like some time gap to just check whether the Zomato is working in production or not, as we don't want to lose something, etc., etc. So then we can able to consider Jmeter as it is a free source. But if they need more and more security, then they'll directly go with LoadRunner. Okay. And also we need to check the deployed monitoring tool. So whenever there is a main issue or a bottleneck happened in our execution, then definitely we need something called monitoring tool, where we can able to track each and every metrics. So in monitoring tools, we can able to see why exactly and where exactly the issue is occurring. So we need to ask, do we have any monitoring tool deployed with the application so far? If yes, please provide us access. Okay, so it might be Dynatrace or AppDynamics or New Relic, CA Wiley Introscope, n number of things. Okay,
I have
if yeah,
um, so you were talking about the exit criteria, SLA.
mm,
So 2 second, 1 second, 4 second for each of the functionality. So this is always given by the client, or there are cases when the client is not aware of like this is, if
yes,
this is banking, then mostly they have certain rules,
yes,
certain SLAs. But in other application, when the application is new or not that
yes,
serious, maybe from edtech, they don't have
yes,
these numbers.
yes.
So how do
So
we deal with that situation?
actually, I was about to speak on this at the very last line, so that
Okay,
each
okay.
and
No problem. You
everything
can
will be
continue.
considered here. Okay, so if we are discussing about all these points, then if I am going to say newly and existing, then we can interlink each and every point. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
fine. And also we need to check the specific time to run the test. Okay, so mostly we used to say like 9 to 6 is our Indian timings, working hours. So whenever we are planning any execution from 9 to 6 in India, like all our servers is in production. So we need to check exactly, do we need to run in production hours or non-production hours. So if there is like whenever we are checking, there might be a chances of getting any like more issues, which is gonna to hit the production as well. So we need to check what is the good time to run. Okay, mostly what we used to do in our executions is like whenever we used to work UK hours, we used to work from 2 to 11. Okay, at that time the application on what we are working is of no load or minimal load. So even if we want to go for any trial and errors also, that is not gonna to hit hard in production. Okay, and if that is a new application, they used to say like for now this is not even entered into production, so we don't have any issues whenever you run the test. That might be also the another case. Okay, and also we need to check, do we have provision to backup. Suppose let us take Amazon or Flipkart is gonna to start big billion sales. So the time like most of the users used to like try to grab the offers. So in that time, like if something is happened to any of the server, is there definitely there should be a backup, right? So we also need to check if we are in the middle of the execution, if something happened to our servers, then definitely like we need to get the provision to the backup. So we also need to ask them on this way. And also the other thing will be batch process. Batch process is nothing like whatever in an easy way we can like consider it as some sort of maintenance. So you guys used to get, I mean in IRCTC application, you can able to book the ticket till 11:30 something like that. After 11:30, so whenever you try to book the ticket from the IRCTC application, I'm not sure whether 11:30 or 12, then you might be getting like for the next half an hour they are going with some sort of maintenance, something like that. So you are not able to book your ticket during that period. So we also need to check like exactly if they are having any batch process for clearing up all the dump what they had in that particular day or not. So because whenever we are doing the execution, if that met the time related to the batch process, then definitely it's going to be some conflicts. So we need to check in that aspect as well. So all these things will be taken into consideration whenever we are going ahead with NFR document. Okay. And by taking all these considerations, if I'm the client, there is two chances whether like either I'm able to tell you people about all these details, or if I'm new to this, so I'm gonna to ask you, as you are a performance tester, I'm just suggesting you people to define all these variables. So I don't know like how much time it is gonna to take for login, how much time it is gonna to take for logout, how much time it is gonna to take for payment. And I don't even know which tool is best, LR is best or Jmeter is best. So in that situation, which I mean, we just need to discuss in a way like based on our experience, we need to like we should be in a position to tell like, so this is what we are going to consider for login, this is what we are going to consider for logout, and this is what, as this is a payment that is going to internally talk to the third agent, third party, so that definitely it's going to get. And these values we can also get from our organization as well. So there will be a blogs for sure in each and every organization, so we can also check with that as well. So like whenever you are new to this, you can directly ping in the blog saying like my client is not aware of all these things, but here I need to provide the exit criteria details, can anyone help me on this? if they are also like irrespective of all these things, you can also directly came to one conclusion, like there will be a standard values in the market for the login, for the logout, and the payment and all these transactions. Okay, and if client says, like if he is not aware whether to use, if he suggested us which will be the best one, so what we will do is like, here comes the POC, proof of concept. So what we are going to do, he said like I'm in a confused mode, so I can't like I'm not in a situation to go ahead with the licensed one or the normal one. I'm not sure which tool is compatible in this sense. Then we need to take any one scenario and need to record with both LoadRunner and Jmeter, and need to get I mean the sample report for that, so that we can able to explain by using the LoadRunner this is what we are seeing, by using the Jmeter this is what we are seeing. And this is, and if we are seeing like it is not even able to record, then we can say like that this is not compatible with the Jmeter based on the technical design specifications. It is compatible only with the LoadRunner. So we can able to say all these things. And if client says like, okay, for now I don't have a budget for the monitoring tool, and but I definitely need to know like if any bottlenecks occur, then being a performance tester, what will be our step? I don't have any budget because all these are like licensed ones. I don't have any budget to spend on this. Then we can say like there will be inbuilt tool which is called perfmon. Okay, so even if you go and search in your search bar, you can able to get that performance monitor. Okay, so this is gonna to give you a details. So here we just need a small setup. So whenever I'm going to the execution, so I said no earlier, 1 second, I'll show you that. So this is for scripting and this is for execution, right? So here the execution can be done in controller. So what I'm gonna to do is like whenever I like started my run from the controller itself, so I need to start to monitor my statics over here. So I need to create some data collections over here. So here I can able to provide all these details. So here we can also able to see, give the counters. So here we can able to provide the counters. What are all the counters we have? So I just want my machine to take care of CPU. See, if I'm gonna to add this attribute, then it is gonna to tell like how much time the CPU is doing and how much percentage it is occupying, how much time it is taking time to not to do any work, how much time it is sitting idle, how much percentage of user time it is occupying. So what I'll do is like I'll just create one data collector over here, and I need to add what are all the parameters I need, and click on add. That's it. So all these things will be added over here. If I want to add the memory as well, so I'll just come to the memory part. See, memory. Here we can able to add how many bytes we have still available, how many committed bytes, committed in the sense how many how much percentage of memory it is utilized in the current execution, still how many bytes I am having free. All these parameters can be added, and when we click on OK, whenever the execution starts, so this is nothing but sample interval. So for every 15 seconds, this performance monitor is going to capture my execution metrics. We can also change the time interval as well. We can also provide like for every 10 seconds or for every 1 second, 2 second, or if you are running for a very long duration. Actually, like the load testing will be conducted for 1 hour, whereas we have different types of testings. We have endurance, which we are going to discuss in later sessions. For endurance, the test will be conducted for 8 hours. So in that 8 hours, if you want to monitor here in the sense, then 8 into 60 into 60. So those many seconds and those many intervals it needs to capture. So in that, we can able to provide for every 15 minutes, something like that. So for 1 hour, it is going to capture 4 metrics. So for 8 hours, 8 into 4, 32 metrics we are going to get. I mean, for the 32 time intervals, it is going to give us the report. So up to 15th minute, how many bytes got consumed. So in the 30th minute, how many bytes consumed, something like that. Okay. So if we don't have any option for the monitoring tool also, we can able to help our client by using the perfmon. All these things will be considered in non-functional requirement. This is just a questionnaire document what we are going to discuss with our client. Whatever we discussed here, like that will be transferred into the test plan. And here we can also ask few more things like the timelines as well. UAT timelines. UAT timelines in the sense, as I said earlier, like we are having like around 10 to 15 days for the performance. So then we need to write like, suppose if it is 30th, for the 15 days in the sense, we need to provide like till 15th of August. So during this period only our performance environment is available. Okay, during that period only the environment will be available. Environment here, what I'm suggesting is like, suppose if it is irctc, irctc.perf.com. So they are going to activate this URL for this time period. So they'll ask us to start our activities from scripting till execution with this. If it is dev, then it should be with www.irctc.dev.com. Okay. So development people like they used to work on this URL. Okay. And if it is with manual testers, they might be with irctc.sit, or if they are doing any changes, SIT also changes to SIT1 as per the version changes.com. So in few companies, like sometimes it is called perf, and sometimes like it is also with UAT, user acceptance testing, where SIT is system integrated testing. And in few, it can be called as staging environment as well. Staging environment or perf environment or UAT environment. So these things considered as higher environments. Higher environments in the sense there will be of no change and the application is stable. Okay, higher environment. Okay, but whereas for the dev and the manual testers, SIT environments, these two termed as lower environments because they used to keep on changing the application as per the defects raised or as per the continuous requirements. So here the application will be unstable because they used to keep on changing as per the code requirement. So as we discussed earlier and also in the yesterday session, so we are going to do the performance testing whenever the application is stable. It is nothing but whenever we have the URL in higher environment. Okay, and also we need to check the test data details as well. And also we need to check how much load they are expecting. So it's also of also two questions. Like if the client is aware of the load details, then he is going to say like 1500. If he said like, no, I'm not aware of this, but I just want to go ahead with the load test, then what we suggest is like, as per the benchmark standards, so e-commerce can be just checked with 1000 users first. Then if you want to check the server capability, then we can go with another type of testing, which is nothing but stress to check the breakdown point. Then we need to keep on increasing the load. So we also need to check whether the load is planned, or do we need to decide on that. Test data details, in the sense, yesterday we just discussed like for the username. If we want to check with multiple users and multiple candidates in the sense, then definitely we need data. So see, we are having like around 10 plus people in this session. So if I want to check with Danny, Reena, Pankaj, and Yodi, and all Anjali, Vignesh, John. So if I want to check with all you people details, then I need to get definitely the test data for these many users, right? So we need to check with that from the team, related team. Actually, the test data should know, like they can able to provide, or we can also get this from our database. If they are not having data, in the sense, they will just ask us to create test data from ourself itself. We can able to create the test data from our side. See, simple. Yeah, seeing the register option here, right? Whenever I click on register, and whenever I am going to provide all these details, and whenever I am recording this as a script, then definitely one user got generated. So in the same way, if I run the same script with multiple users by providing different passwords, then in the output I am going to see the same output. I mean, if I'm going to run the same script for 10 times, 10 users will get generated. If I'm going to use the same script for 20 times, for the 20 iterations, then the same required amount of users will be generated in the backend. So we can also use some sort of file operation to pull those things as well. Okay. So all these things will be taken into consideration while we are preparing NFR. So today we completed the very first step of performance testing lifecycle, which is NFR. Any questions on this? Guys, it's time for your questions. Any questions on how to generate the NFR, and any question on the documentary?
Usually, how much time does it take to get all the NFR requirements?
So it's just a call with our client. So if they are ready with all the details, we can able to fill the details in the single call itself. But if they need, but mostly like it may take like a day or two, because they need to grab all these details from the related teams, right? So if they are not aware, in the sense, they'll just pull the scrum master as well, or else business analyst as well into our call and ask us to help on that. So it completely depends on the data. If we are having handy, everything is fine. If they need to fetch from the related team, then definitely it might take a bit long time.
Hey, I was just curious. Do we get this? So we get the software emailed to us, right? To like, I
Yes.
know this is okay. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Any more questions? So tomorrow we are going to start LoadRunner installation. So I request you people to be ready with your laptops. Tomorrow I'm gonna to ask you people to share your screen, like so that I can able to install the LoadRunner in any of your machine, so that we can start playing with our LoadRunner. from the basic things. Okay.
Okay.
And
So how much
main,
knowledge
yep,
is required?
sorry.
So how much technical knowledge is required to learn this load runner?
To be frank, this won't need any technical knowledge, to be frank, because you joined yesterday's session.
Yeah, I joined lately, but I joined.
Oh, okay, fine, fine. Do you feel any hard to understand whatever the term I used so far?
No. So this is
Yeah,
starting, right?
like
So going
yeah,
forward, how
yeah.
it is going to
Even
be?
starting also, like what I mean, this tool is very friendly, so we can whatever we are doing. I mean, whatever the actions we are doing with the browser, the same thing is gonna to reflect in our script. Let me share my screen. I think my screen is already visible, right? So what I'll do is this don't need any technical skills. Okay. So whenever we install the load runner, so it is going to give the component 1, 2 and 3. So whenever we click on start recording and we'll do the actions, the same thing will get recorded over there. One can easily able to understand. I think. So simply see, I just need to click on record. Before that, I need to check on which server I need to work. This won't need much. Okay. I think something happened to my machine. It seems to be a bit slow. Yeah. Yesterday I showed you, right? Like how to see the script and understand the script. Let me try to
Yeah, yeah,
open
yep.
from here.
Yesterday, I
Yeah,
saw that, but still,
yeah.
that is the question what I have. So how much technical knowledge that a person required to learn this
I
load runner?
actually this won't need much technical, but if you
Okay,
need anything that is going to be covered in terms of C language over here, we are going to use those sessions as well for the better understanding. But literally, to be frank, I'm having like 9+ years. I never used int A or int B as well. But we
okay,
have some inbuilt functions, which is LR, load runner functions. We can able to use those functions whenever that is required. That is not a big deal.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Is the software Fusion or
That is
it's like
called load runner.
oh
Then.
no, okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yep. Actually, earlier in the very first line that was with, I'll show you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I missed the first video, but after I finish with this session, I'm gonna watch the one that
Yeah.
you did yesterday. So I just want to catch up. Um,
Actually, that will be shared from management team. Most probably, they are going to share that by tomorrow morning in
okay,
Indian hours, because there will be no one in the office night, right? It's around 10 p.m. in India. Okay.
okay.
And coming to the load runner, so it is there from ages earlier. The very first vendor was Mercury, and then from then HP took that, and then it moved to Micro Focus. Now that is with OpenText. So now the vendor for the load runner is OpenText. Okay. So we can able to download the community version, which is nothing but the trial version from the Google itself. Okay. Tomorrow what we'll do is we are going to install that, and we will try to record in the very basic line just for the login functionality, just for clear understanding. Cool. Any more questions? Yeah, Rina, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I don't have any question.
Okay.
Uh, if at all while
Yeah.
doing practicals, if we have any questions, doubts.
Yeah, definitely. Like anyhow, we will be having the WhatsApp group, right? So whenever you are facing issue, you can directly post your questions over there. So we can able to help you at any time. No worries on that
Okay,
part. So,
okay,
but definitely, I request like those who join the session, I request you people to do it parallelly. So, whenever we are done with script recording today, so try to replicate the same in your machine. Then only it's gonna to help you in a better way. Yeah,
okay,
simply listening and if you are unable to practice in the sense, then definitely there will be of no use. So, I would request you people definitely to go ahead with the practice sessions. So here we are not only trying with one application, so we do have n number of open source applications. So we will be playing with all those around.
okay.
Okay.
That's great actually.
Yep. Thank you. And guys, any more questions, or can we find up the session? Let me know.